Absolutely. And I've got some daylight to do it now, and my hair is under control, so I'm somewhat presentable. So, so the movie comparison. So I'm going to make this as dead simple as possible, just so people can understand. So, if you've lived on Earth at some point in the last 80 years, you've probably seen a screen somewhere. And at no point since they've come out have they not in some way been on the cutting edge of technology. The way we make TVs and stuff today is completely different from how we used to make them back in the 50s. That relied on like vacuum tubes and ionizing gas and whatnot. And now we have digital LED screens and OLED screens. If you're on your phone, it is most likely an OLED screen. Ooh. Ooh, excuse me. I love that building. So, your screen, your phone screen you're looking at right now, is actually a grid of a bunch of tiny little squares called pixels. And the number of pixels is called your resolution. And so, say you're on a really nice phone, your resolution might be something like, 3,000 by 1440. That would be like a S25 plus or something. And that is the number of pixels. So you've probably heard of 4K. So 4K refers to a TV resolution that is 3840 by 2160. So 4K, 3840, close enough. Real numbers are always a little less than the marketing. And that comes out to roughly about 8 million pixels across the entire screen. And so, yes. All right, resolution. So HD, high definition, which is 720p, that's about roughly 1 million pixels across your screen. That determines how sharp the image looks, and the sharpness of the image, how clear it is dependent on how small the pixels are and how closely packed they are together. So then you have 1080p, which is about 2 million pixels, and then you have 4K, which is about 8 million pixels, and it just keeps going up from there. We haven't gotten too much further past that. But, so, what happens is that image, you take that image and you have 15 more of them, and you just change one small thing in between each one. And so what will happen is if you play that back, where you have 16 images every second, all of a sudden your brain starts having trouble telling that there's 16 pictures, and you start seeing a video. If you watch a movie, that's typically at 24 frames per second, or 23.94. So that is about the frame rate, the picture rate of what looks natural to the naked human eye. And so my idea was that you could do the same thing with consciousness, except you take your senses, sight, touch, sound, that kind of thing, and these become the pixels of your frame. And so then you have a certain number of frames per second, then you get, a moving image. And this connects to neurobiology, because one thing that the brain does is there's this process called binding. And what binding is that if I see my foot move, and I feel it move, and I hear my step, that's 3 sensations all defined to the same event occurring in time. And those sensations all move to my brain at different speeds. And so what the brain does is called binding, where it figures out the delay and it stitches them all together in a way such that you all experience all three of those things at the exact same time. What this does is this actually causes a delay. So your conscious awareness it varies, but anywhere from about half a second to 2 to 3 to 4 seconds behind reality. This is like reaction time. What that is literally just the delay in your brain's processing. So the idea is that you would take a frame of sensation and you would move them at a certain number of times per second, and that would be your life. And you would be watching a movie. Well, that explains what you experience, but it doesn't really explain you. And so what I thought was, imagine if you took the movie Gladiator and it was digital, it's a MP4 file. Well, the information contained in that file is Gladiator. It's the story of Maximus Decimus Meridius. And so what if the movie file believes that it is Maximus Decimus Meridius? Well, all of a sudden now you have an identity built out of information. But it's not the information that makes up the file, it's the actual story of the movie. So this is where I got started. That's a very simple explanation. There's like five layers of complexity beyond that. But that's kind of still generally the right mechanism. And what's interesting to me is that this, the way the video works between between having still pictures and having a moving picture is much the same way that science treats time. See, in classical physics, this is the physics of stuff we can see. This is planets, this is forces, this is stuff rolling down hills. In the physics of stuff we can see, time is continuous. We don't think of it as occurring in steps. It's just always going. But that doesn't work the same when you get down into quantum physics. Because in quantum physics, you are looking at discrete moments of time. Because quantum physics can change based on discrete moments of time. Even just to measure what's going on down there changes what's going on down there. It's a wild world. So yeah. So that's that. We'll get further into it in future videos, but I figured that was enough for now.